me ask you guys a question. What do you think is the most polite animal in the entire world? Zach.
The pygmy marmoset.
Pygmy marmoset? Okay, what about you?
The white tree frog.
The white tree frog is correct. There is no other animal in the entire world that has a demeanor quite like these guys. So say you want to own one of them and you're not sure where to start. Lucky for you, I can help. I kind of consider myself a bit of an expert, so today we're going to take a quick look at the proper care for these frogs. The first thing that you want to do before you even buy your frog is get your tank set up. The Western New York Herpetological Society recommends that you use a 25-gallon tank per pair of frogs. This is a great idea. You just want to make sure that it is an arboreal tank for them because they are tree frogs, so they're going to want to use that high up space so that way they can feel a little bit safer. You want to fill the bottom of your terrarium with either paper towels. You just want to make sure that they're unbleached paper towels, or cocoa fiber or organic potting soil if you want to support live plant life. You want to make sure that there are lots of hiding places. Really fill that terrarium up for them, so that way they can get their exercise, because these frogs are really prone to obesity. And like I had mentioned, you want to really fill up your tank. So there's tons of different types of ledges and hides that you can buy to hang on the sides of your tank so they can, play all up in it. You can use fake or real plants depending on what your setup is like, whether or not you have paper towels or a dirt-based setup. The only issue that there is with fake plants is that if you buy a plastic plant, it can cut them, and that's no good. So you want to make sure that you stick to silk or satin plants. You're going to want to make sure that for these guys you use a soaking tub for them. They're a tropical species, so they really appreciate being able to have somewhere to go and really soak up, because they don't drink water, they just soak it up through their bodies. The Western New York Herpetological Society also recommends that you keep your frogs up to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, that you keep their tank up to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and at the nighttime it can drop to as low as 68 degrees. You're going to want to make sure that you want to keep with their circadian rhythm, just like us. You want to do 12 hours on, 12 hours off for them to simulate daylight and nighttime. You're also going to need a 5.0 UVB light. That's to replicate the sun, kind of like how we get like vitamin D from the sun. They also need that too. You just want to make sure you don't use anything higher or hotter than a 5.0 because it can sunburn them. And another thing you want to watch out for is a heat mat. You never want to use a heat mat with them because it can cause hot spots in the tank and hurt them. These guys have a crazy appetite, okay? They eat just about anything they can get their hands on. So you want to make sure that you're giving them a varied diet. Crickets and dubias are great staple items for them. They aren't super high in fat, they aren't super low in protein. If you want to give them a treat, or if you want to kind of fatten them up a little bit, you can give them waxworms or butterworms. You never want to feed mealworms, hornworms, rodents, fish, and red wiggler worms. Those are they're all either toxic, hard to metabolize for them, or just too fatty for these guys. You are going to want to make sure that you give them some kind of vitamin supplement and a calcium supplement. The Western New York Herpetological Society recommends that you dust your crickets 3 times a week with a calcium and multivitamin. A few things worth noting. You can house opposite sex frogs together. These guys require really specific breeding they have really specific breeding requirements. So unless you replicate that exactly, they won't breed at all. So you don't have to worry about any surprise babies. You want to make sure that they are all kind of in similar size, because if you don't, they will eat each other. So that is my presentation on tree frogs. My name is Lindsay. I did this for my Principles to Public Speaking class, CST100.